We're live, Pierre.
Welcome back to another early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show with your hockey coach, Guru, Coach Frenchy directly from the Sunshine State. And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find co-host Michael Devellano.
Well, you know it's summer when there's bad things happening, I guess. I don't know.
Like I mentioned yesterday for the show last night, we said it's the bottom of the bottom, right? So we are really at the off season right now. We are on the transition between the almost everybody's going to be back the next 2 weeks, and after that we'll be pick it up slowly. We have 49 days before the season starts, and that's what we are. So it's normal, but it's just like other drama open around the league. But just bad news, sad news.
Bad news, like. It's not been
constantly every day something happening, right? From last week, Tony Esposito, and then we got the 3 kids. After that, you got Rodrigue Gilbert, and yesterday you got for an expectation the pass away of Jimmy Hayes at 31 years old. I know he was not inside a hockey anymore since like 2018, but the family Hayes make an impact in the Boston area hockey, where everybody knows the family Hayes, knows Kevin and Jimmy. They was involved with different things around the grow and play in Boston and everything. So they everybody knows the Hayes, and also they know what kind of family are. So they was really recognized as a great family, everything like that, and that's what they are. So to see him leave the that way at 31 years old, just have a baby 2 months now, 2 years ago, 2 months ago, and you have another one, I think 2 or 3 years old. So that's make everybody really shock everything. Like if you follow on the social media yesterday, on the teams, on the players, on the friends, and around the league fans, hockey fans, they are all around, shocked. And to hear that news, unfortunately, and where I believe, we reflect this yesterday, but every day it's not granted. You have to make the most you can be for every day you have, and then because you never know what could be the end. So sad news for hockey, and that's all. That's life. But at the end of the day, too young to leave us at 31 years old.
I'm sure something will come out about this as to what happened. He's really young, an athlete, athletic guy. So, but it's tough when you make the transition outside of hockey sometimes. It's maybe that's part of it. I don't know if it's like, I guess we'll find out. Did he have substance abuse issues? Did he have?
Yeah, no words exactly. Is it the heart? Is it problem? Is it anything? Nobody mentioned the reason behind everything.
Yeah. He has really tight connections that are still in the NHL. Like he's cousins with the Tkachuks. So he's got Keith, Brady, and Matthew that are all related to him. And then Tom Fitzgerald and his sons. It's, he had tight connection to Boston College. I think he scored the game-winning goal when they won over Wisconsin. They won 2 championships. And then his younger brother, Kevin, plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, as we know. And Kevin played with him 1 year for that last championship year when he was a sophomore. They got to play together at Boston College. He was drafted by the Leafs. He traded to Boston. He had a pretty decent career. What maybe wasn't totally what you would have expected, but
no, he never reached that kind of level of hockey. You know what I mean? Like he he's shopping left and right, but he never reached that kind of potential. You know what I mean?
Like good years, but I think he always left you wanting more. Like you were waiting for him to do the thing that you thought, because he was a big guy. He's like 6'5", and he had all the tools. But more than anything, it's just sad what's going on off the ice. I really feel for his family, and he's got a young family.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll find out what the circumstances were, but it's, very tragic at this point.
Definitely.
Other weird news, and this is maybe we don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but there was some report that more bad news about Evander Kane. I guess he promised someone $2 million. he reneged on it. So now there's a lawsuit about it. this guy is just a friggin' train wreck. I mean, I don't know how they get out of this. They've got a long-term contract with the guy. The teammates don't want him back. He kind of got drummed out of. Yeah, rest in peace, Jimmy Hayes. Very sad. Michael Rosenblatt's joined us. Dan Asham was here early, Pierre. And then we had Bruin. I don't know who Bruin is, if that's like someone that we've had here before, but we're definitely mourning the loss of another person in the hockey world. This guy has been a train wreck, though. I don't know what. There were so many stories, and now it seems to be all coming out that it just gets deeper and deeper. We know he went bankrupt for gambling, and he's definitely living a life that is really unfortunate. So I don't know. What do you do with this guy? If you're San Jose, you've got a lot of money tied up in him.
Well, the problem, I don't know. I don't have the contract in front of me. I don't know if you have an NMC or whatever his contract is. Honestly, I could look about this, but I think the problem with him is like you cannot bring him back for sure. I think at some point is to let him explain to him. You have to find a way where you need to have some attention by the professional, by the people or professional. You have a MNTC right now.
What a mess.
So
no one's going to want this guy, Pierre. I mean, his value is like, so he's got what?
Honestly, he cannot do anything about that one there. So
4 years left at $28 million. Do you just buy him out?
So it's funny because you have you have the MTC, and the list, Michael, is only 3 teams.
What are the teams? Vegas, and Vegas?
No, wait, they don't mention, but the one, you know what I mean? It's like you only 3 teams over there, so it's really rare.
Vegas, New York,
it's
and LA.
Rare you get see that. Usually have 10 years, 10 team, 12, 15 team, but 3 team only. The key is behind that part is to sit with him, explain the situation, and put him on the leave absence about problem, everything like that, and you have to be out and put him on the long-term injury list. And that will open up a $6-7 million for them. They still have about Michael, honestly, 4 more years to go. But that's the only way I think they can fix the problem with him.
Yeah.
Because they buy out Michael, they stock with the money on the salary cap.
But it might be better at this point.
I think Michael, the way right now is to say, look, why not to go on the long-term injury list for 1 year and see what happened about that, reevaluate where you at in 1 year from now, and maybe prove for the rest of the world who you are, everything like that, fix your problem. And because he's 30 years old, they are stuck. He's going to be only 34 years old. So
I know.
It's not going to fix their problem. So his contract might go a little bit with Paris, or so they're going to get another, maybe another $4-5 million, so sorry, cap dead for 4 years. I think for me, you explain to him, said, help us, we're going to help you.
Yeah.
We'll put you on the long-term injury list. That open up more money for the team. That would be, as a GM right now, for me, that's always, I find a solution.
Can they put him on long-term IR?
Yes.
For what, like for off-ice issues or?
Yes, exactly. It's like you have to go with professional mental illness. Exactly what happened with Jonathan Drouin, Michael.
So that salary can come off temporarily. They keep paying him. And
yeah, so they're going to pay him, but he is on long-term injuries, so open up more money for the salary cap. That's the only way I see this right now, because the player does not want him. He's going to leave a bad apple situation inside the locker room. Thirdly, any team in NHL does not want him. So the 2 solutions, one is what I just mentioned. The second one, you buy him out, but I don't see it's the right things for the San Jose to buy him out. They have too much money. It's going to be on their salary cap dead. Now, wait 1 year. Now, after that, you have 3 years. Then maybe you can play with, you can see what's happening. The problem, Michael, is not only Evander Kane for the salary cap. It's Carlson. It's Vlasic.
Yeah.
That's Brent Burns.
Yeah, it's a mess.
You know what I mean? So that's what's happening there also.
Yeah, there's definitely a mess. I don't know what you do with this guy. Nobody's going to want him. His numbers on paper are good, but we've just known he had problems in Winnipeg. Buffalo is a train wreck already, but he's he's a talented player, but he's not young anymore. I mean, this guy's like, he's 30, Pierre. I don't know.
Yep. So welcome back, NHL back on the house today. NHL long time ago, we don't see in the morning. We see him a couple of times a night. Fun to see NHL aboard. Jason Menz directly from Montreal. Bonjour, bon matin, mon nom. Michael Rosenblatt is right. He's a good hockey player, Michael. Unfortunately, the head is not there.
Yeah.
Brett Marchand is happy about, he's sad about Jimmy Haynes. He have a story about him. He explained yesterday about him last night, a little bit now here. And of course, Mr. Johnny Golden was with me last night until 11:30, Michael.
Oh,
we
wow.
talk about, I don't have with me, I just put this back at the right spot. But Michael, I have and I don't know how much it could be, but I have some picture from 1972.
Oh, for the series, the Summit series?
But it's more about player like Guy Lafleur, Ken Dryden, and everything like that. I have about 75 of them, and it's like it's like a nice paper. It's like a 8x11, and the paper is really like icy paper, like glacier. And they are all intact. They have no damage or anything like that. So last time I showed to them I have Steve Carlton, Ferguson Jenkins, Roberto Clemente, Stargell, McCarvey, and baseball, hockey. And I don't know the value of this.
Who knows? I'm sure we could figure that out.
So I don't know if it's good or not, but it'll talk about 50 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we've been interesting about that. That's what we did yesterday.
Gators
Gator back in the house this morning.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. All right, let's move on. This guy's got too much of our attention already. Evander Kane and EK6 are really the same situation. They're good players, but it sucks because they're just not on a team that can help them. Who's EK6?
Carlson.
Oh, Eric Carlson. Well, these are, but these are two different situations. One is personal conduct, and one is just older and he's beat up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got two. It's not like Eric Carlson can't play anymore. He's just not what you want, what you expect. And he's not worth 11.5.
It's funny because I'm doing a video will be done afternoon, Michael. He's a one player. It's called a one player per team where you have to bounce back. Okay, they have a bad year last year and they have to come back. And Carlson is the one I took from the San Jose, like Carter Hart for Philadelphia, everything like that. So he had 22 points last year. The only thing he was good, he have 8 goals. But again, $11 million is not good enough to get that kind of the productivity and an offensive. Is a guy and he's almost like you have to have a 0.8 point per game, Michael, to be satisfied with $11 million as a defenseman.
Which is what you were paying him for because you thought he was going to get these kind of numbers. But, I mean, it's not the same thing anymore. I mean,
you can see the last 3 years, Michael, is a little bit below.
Yeah, he's dropping too.
The only thing he stepped up last year, he scored more goals. Usually he did for the last 3. But again, he is a guy, $11 million. You can see those numbers, 21, 16, 17. Yeah. That's the number we're looking for. For me at that age, at 12, 15 goal with a 50 assists, 45 assists, 40 assists, that would be the good money. But
sure.
But again, you still have 7 years to go, maybe. And maybe not 5 years to go now with $11 million. He's going to be 37. Ouch.
I mean, yeah, he's done. I feel like if he was $5 million, someone would grab him. You might have to do one of those deals where you trade him twice and give out assets. And I think and they missed out on that first pick. They finished so badly, and then they gave up a top pick that ends up being.
Yeah, but again, it's another problem you're going to get. Exactly what happened with Parise and Sutter. You're going to buy out at 36, but again, still have about 5, 6, 7 million on your money, on your salary cap dead, and that's not what you're looking for, right? So
no, it's a mess. I feel like it's time to blow this thing up. They think they're going to get back to the playoffs with Aiden Hill and what's the other goalie they signed? Can't remember.
Jimmy Reimer back there.
Jimmy Reimer, right? James Reimer. And Reimer's, both those are probably better than Martin Jones at this point, but it doesn't all fall at his feet. you can't have a Brent Burns and a Erik Karlsson, and then on top of it, Vlasic all playing poor defensively. Like, this doesn't make sense. It's crazy. He's the leading scorer, Pierre Evander Kane. I don't know. You got two good pieces here, Hurdle and Meyer. And Couture could be traded, but even his contract is like now.
Well, the problem with them is like Thomas right now is on the UFA next season.
I know. Like, you've got this guy locked up long term, this guy locked up long term, this guy locked up long term, and big money, Pierre. And then you don't pay these two guys? Like, it doesn't make any sense. They're going to leave.
Yep.
Yeah, they're a mess. I think this thing just needs to blow up, and they need to accumulate some draft picks. And this would have been the year to do it. Like, you've got Shane Wright this year and Connor Bedard next year. They picked up Eklund this year. Like, just start buying out assets and live with the cap. How old is Erik Karlsson's? Like 33?
Yeah.
It's got to be, right? Let's look. Maybe not. He's 1990, so
31.
He's 31. Yeah, 31. He looks, and then you've got 30-year-old Evander Kane, and then you've got these two young stars. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's a mess. Well, all right, let's switch gears a little bit. Three-way trade to spread out his salary. That's what I was thinking you have to do. And you've got a couple of these players. You got him. Logan Couture is, even he as good as he is, his numbers are off the last few years, and he's getting
the prime, Michael, you cannot do it because when you get this part, when you sign a contract, 8 years, you become 34, 36, 37. It's hard to make a trade to get there. When the Montreal trade for Shea Weber was still early at the beginning of 30, 29, 28, 30. So you can hang in there. Weber have a 12-year contract, was different, but still, trade a guy like this at 8 years, like John Tavares right now. But you can get John Tavares, but you still pay him for the next 5 years, $11 million. At some point, you're going to pay the dead money at the end of this contract.
Oh,
so you
for sure.
pay for. So that's what you have to. It's a reason why the Kraken, Michael, did not pick Carey Price.
For sure.
So you have to go that way. You know what I mean? Like when you study a little bit more the contract situation, you have to find those kind of contract around. So
6 years left. And I don't know how the bonus structure plays in. Like, he's being paid a big bonus and a small, but even the base. Look at the base.
Yeah. So what happening, Michael, is like the team's going to get him for the last 3 years of contract or 2 years contract. They're going to pay him the salary of what you give to him is lower, but the AAV. But the AAV does not change, Michael, at the end of the day. They still have a 9.7 at the end. Now you say, oh, yeah, but that's cheaper. Yeah, but now you get him at 36 years old, 37 years old, and he does not produce at 31. Like, what do you expect at the end? So that's the problem. The signing bonus don't change not much. The AAV, Michael, it just diminished the money you gave to the players at the end of the contract. Like Weber, Michael, next year, this year is the last year of $6 million. So next year, you can pay Weber, I think it was $1 or $2 million. But his AAV is still high at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that we're looking at his specific contract because we're talking about Ottawa. And Ottawa made it to the Stanley Cup final, on the back of, at the end of 16-17, they lost this year, right? And they had a bunch of players there that were pretty good. Mark Stone, Mike Hoffman, Ryan Dzingel played real well. Kyle Turris played well. Derek Brassard was probably the first terrible move by Pierre Dorian, moving out Mika Zibanejad to get him. So that really kind of started the beginning of the end. He still had Pajot. They had Dion Phaneuf, really? Yikes. So I don't know. This was a weird thing. And then there was like this personal turmoil going back to drama in the dressing room. And it was between Hoffman's girlfriend and Karlsson's wife. And this blew it all up, Pierre. But in retrospect, it might have been the best thing for Ottawa. Because none of these guys are really Mark Stone's good in Vegas. So that's been good for them. They got assets for that. Hoffman's been, Hoffman. He played well in Florida, but he's still, they saw the writing on the wall. He is a one-dimensional player, and Erik Karlsson's never been the same.
But it's funny you mentioned this because yesterday Ronnie Odette at the end of the show, Johnny was there with Inner Tap. Was talking about sometime you have to separate the feeling, keep the players, whatever the age is getting older, and not to have that kind of business and not a relationship. So sometimes the team keep their players too old, and then at the end, now they stuck with no stop market. So Ottawa, flip side, Michael, they rebuild their team by trading those kind of players, Hoffman and Stone, Pajot, and those big players there. And that's the way now they are today, because all the reason they did a couple of years ago, Karlsson, everything. So they suffer for 2-3 years, but now the wheel is getting better on the right direction now. And sometimes you have to do it. Because he was talking about the fact like Pittsburgh did not do it with Letang, with Malkin, and those kind of players, where I think at some point you should do it if you want to rebuild. Because right now, tomorrow morning, you wake up next year, Pittsburgh have nothing. They are completely empty.
That's San Jose.
Right?
So, that's San Jose, right? Like San Jose is in that weird spot.
But the problem San Jose, Marco, is because the money they gave to the player. That's what the bad contract it came over there. And I think they get a couple of trade not right. But for me, is like Pittsburgh 2-3 years ago. Like the one thing Chicago did well, Michael, for 5-6 years, see, they keep 2-3 players, but they give up a lot of other players around to rebuild every 2 years to try to win a Stanley Cup with the 3 guys together. That's what's happening right now with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Michael. I believe this year is the last year you can see the 4 core players together. If they don't win next year, this is over. They have to change this to another direction with Tavares and Nylander. If not, it's not going to happening again. You're going to go fall in the same boat every time like that.
Yeah, if you're going to move one of those big salaries, it's got to be Tavares. I don't think you ever move a Marner or a Matthews. They're too young. They're overpaid. The Morgan Rielly situation is really difficult. But, in retrospect, I'll say it again, like the drama that happened in the Ottawa dressing room forced their hand. One thing I think that we've seen so far, if we're evaluating Pierre Dorion, this guy does not know how to make trades or signings. Like all the older players he's brought in has been a mistake. Like, Phaneuf was not a great acquisition there.
Well, this is a long time ago, Michael. It's
2017. So it's 4 years.
We are now going on the 4 years now.
Well, this is my point. So if you look at his history, this was when everything blew up, was 2018. So he had to trade all these guys after this. This is the year they made the Stanley Cup final. Right. So then you look at the assets, and let's look at the first one, which is Mark Stone. And Mark Stone is probably the best of them so far because he's still producing at a pretty high level in Vegas. And the assets he got back, though, he didn't get much back. They gave up a young guy. They got Eric Brandstrom. And Eric Brandstrom was one of the first-round picks that Vegas had in their first year. And Brandstrom is a top 4 defenseman, maybe top 2. So that's good. But it took a while for that to pan out. I don't know about Sokolev, and I don't know about Lindbergh. So that's good morning, Joseph. Thank you for joining us. So that was the first bunch. In 2019, they made this trade in February. The next guy, of course, is the Erik Karlsson trade. And this was really part of the drama with Hoffman. He wanted to be moved. So that trade is what really brought back some dividends here.
You got a great pick on that, a great trade on that one.
This is where it was a great move. So they basically get Josh Norris, who's probably their number 1 or 2 centerman right now, or can play wing. The Rudolph Balcer, who I think is actually back in San Jose now. Chris Tierney's been pretty solid. Dylan DeMello, a second-round pick. But it's the first-round pick that really topped this off, which is Tim Stützle. So they end up with a top 3 pick that ends up being like a franchise-type player. And this is like the second coming of, Peter Forsberg or something. So Stützle, huge home run, plus they get all these depth guys. So that definitely has paid off. I don't know what they got for Hoffman. Let's take a look. I thought they didn't get.
Click on the Dylan DeMello.
And then they made a move for DeMello, right? Did they trade DeMello back?
Yes.
They got a 3rd-round pick, so not much.
But he can still get 6 players in return.
Yeah, that's why, like, San Jose gave up everything. You imagine if San Jose right now had Tim Stützle and Josh Norris and no contract for Erik Karlsson. Plus, they'd still have Chris Tierney. They already have Rudolph Balcer. They got him back. And they had Dylan DeMello. Like, this might be a very different discussion. Yeah, and then Mike Hoffman, I don't think they got very much for him. So none of these guys are probably big impact players. He might have a chance, but I don't know. He's okay. Yeah, tough to say. All right, so, and then I don't know. Did they get anything for Ryan Zingle? So this might have turned out okay. So they also traded Ryan Zingle. And they got
Cedric Patrick Pocket. Kelchuk and Pocket.
Oh, because they traded. Let's see. They traded him for Duclair, a 2nd-round pick, which is Blomqvist. Oh, I see. Okay. That's weird. So he's signed by Carolina, and then they traded Galchenyuk and Paquette for him because they brought him back. Okay, got it. So weird. I don't understand. Yeah, and he finished the year, and now he's gone as a free agent to Arizona. So I don't know. It's interesting. They got to dump some contracts. But if we look at this, the big thing then is the draft, right? So the big pick, aside from those, he made a couple other interesting deals. One, he gets Brady Tkachuk and Jacob Bernard-Docker in the same draft. So those are really great pickups. I want to look at one other thing. Yeah, nothing for Jonathan Dahlen. All right. So that's really where this begins, right? 2018.
Well, I think it's 17.
Well, what do you mean?
He got Drake Patterson and Alex Formenton. They're both of them right now are full roster with them.
Yeah, Batherson. Yeah. So
and Formenton.
Yeah, is Formenton on the roster full time? You think?
Oh yeah. He's finished strong over there for bottom 6.
Let's look here. Yeah, I guess he might stick. He still feels like he's a little bubbly, but he'll probably be on the bottom 6.
Yeah, he's a bottom 6 over there.
Yeah. But this is really like, these are the two big impactful guys. Bernard-Docker is just coming in. Brady Tkachuk due for a contract, but I mean, this was maybe, I don't know, in that draft.
We did it yesterday. Last night we did the draft.
Oh, you redrafted? Where did
you it was fun. People love it. We did only 15, but it was great to see this. Like it was fun to see. He was nothing changed at the beginning. Dahlen and Shendikov. Some people want use at the beginning, but Kotkaniemi go down, Tkachuk go up.
Yeah,
one player go up is Farabee go up over there.
Yeah,
and people likes a lot, Michael. Martin Kaut for the Colorado.
I don't know, Pierre. He's got talent and he's got size, but there's something really soft about him. But he has so much talent. He's got great hands, like that he'll probably play, and he might be very effective there. But I don't know. There's something when we watched him in the rookie tournament, you were like, come on, man, do something. Like,
yeah, Grasov and on the first 15, Michael, Grasov and Aiton was out, honestly. And Delendrea dropped a little bit, but he was 13, 15. But Ty Smith go up. It was really up. Smith.
Ooh, look at this one.
So
Dobson. Kravtsov is very good, though. Kravtsov is going to be a big impact player.
So it was fun to do that. I think it's something we did very well. It was good to see people. And the way we did, everybody bring their vote, and we picked the best one of all that together. So, but it's fun when you have we was about 7, 8 players, Michael. But again, almost nobody was the same way. Oh no, I want this one. No, I want this one. Everybody was the GM. We did not pick anybody for the second round. It was just the top first round. That's what we did at the beginning. So
that's cool.
Fun to see this. A lot of people liked Kupari last night, so I was impressed a little bit about that one.
Who is that?
Kupari from the Los Angeles King.
You know, he could be a good player, Pierre. I can't figure out what he is. He's
and Lundestrom. Lundestrom got a couple of votes during the last night also.
It's interesting because those guys, there's something similar about them. They're both physically solid. They're both fast players. I'm not sure if either one of them, like Kupari has a little bit of a reputation of goal scoring, but I haven't really seen it pan out yet. And Lundestrom should be a very solid top 9. I think he's more of a third line guy that can flex to second. And I think both of them are kind of in that weird bubble situation. I bet you
think Lundestrom is going to get a little bit better right now because the opportunity is better for him compared to Kupari. But again, I think Kupari could step up over there about this. Some people, Michael, talk also about Jay O'Brien last night. And I was not sure as to tell them.
He hasn't done anything. I mean, he's gotten absolutely nothing, so.
So I did not know, honestly, to say something. I did not follow him, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Been talking about this guy for a while, Pierre. I don't know if it's going to pan out, but we'll find out.
I'm always worried, Michael, when someone came to BCHL and they get picked.
I'm not. The reason I'm not is because the only reason they're in the BCHL, Pierre, is because they know they're going NCAA.
But for me, when they pick at the top overall pick, like first round, I'm worried about them. I will wait those guys a bit later in the draft. I don't say you don't pick up them, but
right. And I think that's what happens because it's very, they haven't even gone to college yet. You haven't seen.
Because the only one really remember it was Tyson. Remember I think it was Decatur Tyson Just.
Did he? Yeah, maybe.
From Colorado, he became the first really good, the big one for BCHL at that moment.
Yeah, and it's fair because I think that we just delay their. He went to North Dakota for a year. Pierre, I don't see how NCAA, in my opinion, does not develop players. Like they're getting old players. Like they're getting a guy that's pretty much formed, and then they play a very short schedule.
Oh, the problem, Michael, when you go to NCAA. You don't develop as a potentially to become like the next gear. No. I think you're there for just like
school.
Yes, and honestly, and depend where you go also. Yeah, some team is pretty good, like North Dakota, Michael. They are a good school a good place to go hockey. Boston College, you know what I mean. But again, he played BCHL, Michael Pentatong V. If you go back to the player prior that O'Brien. Where they play, same team.
Yeah. Well, BCHL and the NCAA are like this. We compete against, we have.
But my point, like that team, Penticton, bring a couple of players are selected by NCAA, by them.
So you
member directly from Sweden in the house.
You look at us with, we drafted Kent Johnson, right? So Kent Johnson plays trail leaders 1 year at Michigan. But, Kent Johnson, if he played in the WHL, he already would have played a professional type game.
Yep.
And, maybe he's in the NHL already. And he's a year older. He's October 18th. So he goes with the 03s. So, I really like this player. But in the end, anyone coming out of NCAA is older. And they're not playing an NHL schedule.
No.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with you. It's a little bit of a red flag sometimes. Look at Casey Middlestad in the USHL.
Yeah,
you pick him so high, and he's maybe now ready, maybe. All right, so focusing on Ottawa for a second, they made this draft here.
Killer, YouTube is in the house, Michael.
Charles Killer, how you doing, buddy?
He's from Montreal.
Oh, cool. So this was an interesting draft, 2019. They picked Lassie Thompson. A lot of people didn't know who he was. Played in the WHL. He's a Finnish-born player. Shane Pinto has made the team at the end of last year and looks like he might be.
Oh, yeah. Michael is going to be very good hockey player.
Yeah.
definitely a top 9, and he could slip. He's an underrated player, I believe.
The other guy they get is Mads Søgaard. And Mads Søgaard is a big 6'7" Danish goalie that played in the WHL. He's prototypical what NHL teams want. They want a big guy with, good skill. He's big, covers a lot of net, and then they're just going to work on him technically the next 2 or 3 years. But you look at his numbers, he's a very, very good NHL prospect. Like at some point, this guy plays in the NHL. Is he a backup?
Not about the size, Michael, but I think that's kind of tied the goaltender. It reminds me a little bit what Columbus pick usually, the Copricelo, those Elvis, Messencling, they that kind of goaltender, Michael. That's why, and usually because their size take a little bit longer to make the NHL, I believe.
Yep, I agree. But you can see the trends there. Like he's got a very high save percentage. He's got a low goals against average. He's got a good workload. Although he's never played more than 37 total games, so that's kind of interesting. And he only played 7 last year. But, in his body of work, that's why I say I think in 2 or 3 years, this guy will be in the NHL.
But again, I think it's another Max Strom for me. Like another guy would pick up the pick of his NHL more at 25, 26.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think for me, that's what he can slide between. But you talk about Ottawa need a prospect goaltender. And that's what the reason maybe they did not pick Kosa. Because a lot of people during the time, there was 10 overall pick, I believe, or something like that. A lot of people associate a goaltender for their selection. Go to a little bit higher, 21. It was 10, exactly. So a lot of people was expect Michael a goaltender maybe there, but they have maybe the prospect already inside that. And I apologize, Charles, Saint-Georges-de-Beauce and not Montreal. Here's the second one, Michael. Zenit Gaming is from Saint-Georges-de-Beauce also.
Oh, wow.
So Charles, thanks again for that one over there.
Yeah. So
Johnny is right for you, Michael. He said good number, especially for the junior.
Absolutely.
I agree with him a lot about that. But again, that's a player we don't talk a lot, Michael. Talking about Sokolov, Michael, 61 on the trade for Erik Karlsson, I believe, or Michael Stone is right here. Sokolov right there. He played a QM.
Look at his numbers.
Not bad, 25 and 35 with American. You know what I mean? Like something we have to be careful about him. Again, as another player, we don't talk. We talk about Pinto. We talk about,
this guy. But isn't the deal with him? He's big and he's not a great skater, right? I think he's kind of like a Raphael Lavoie type guy, maybe heavier. He's pretty heavy. But I think this was a good pick. Like if they can get him in shape, he looks leaner already. So let's see. I wonder.
Yeah.
I think he was 240 pounds, Peter. That was the rumor. He was a big guy.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit Pierre-Luc Dubois, but bigger on the hand. But the size of the Dubois is what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah,
Dubois?
but the weight. Look at the weight.
Yeah, I know. That's the way I was talking about the weight. Like it's maybe not the weight, but the type of player he can become. When I see 61 overall and I see his number, Michael, the one it reminds me right away right there is Maxime Comtois. Maxime Comtois, Michael, and QM have that kind of number. Maxime Comtois was the second overall pick on that area overall. I think it was 50 or 60. That's what I feel about him.
Very different player, though, Pierre. Like Maxime Comtois is very fast.
No, I'm talking about the productivity, about the point they did and the way they was select. That's my. I'm not talking about the on the ice about that one over there. I still not sure about Maxime Comtois, but I have to give him one more year to see really. He stepped up last year, Michael, but now is the point. You know what? It reminds me a little bit, or I'm worried. It's like Philippe Danault. Philippe Danault, he's always been in the wrong chair with the Montreal Canadiens. He never been a number one center. He cannot be a number one center in NHL, Philippe Danault.
I don't think Maxime Comtois is even a center. Like,
no, but my point is like he's maybe on the right chair. I think he's more like a second line, not a first line. That's my point here.
Well, it's hard to say. Like 2 years ago when we saw him at the rookie camp, you were like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah. I understand that. My point is just like I want to see him this year.
course,
It's really where he's supposed to be. That's it's just an interpretation to say that he's at the right chair because he have now an upper sleep. He have nobody. They have Anaheim Ducks, right? Because I believe it's not supposed to be a first line. I believe more the young men like Zegras pick it up the first line over there. The draft they just picked this year. The player they pick, I don't remember which one they picked, but it's another player they was supposed. Is it McDavid?
Jason McTavish. They already signed him.
So if you bring those guys up, I feel Courtois is going to be second line where I believe he belongs. That's my statement about that. Not saying he's not a good player.
No, I think second line winger is where he ends up, and I think McTavish is second line center. Zegras is going to be a star on the first line. But, Comtois has got really soft hands and he's really fast.
Oh, yeah, he's a great...
He's mean as hell.
It's just how I can see this, Michael. I wish I can know him. Like, we know he's already played 3 years in NHL. He picked up 30 points this year and 55 game example, right? Yeah. So now, is it reflect for the upcoming season now with 50 points? That's what I want to see from him. And when I see this, now I can tell you, oh, yeah, he's right there. That's my point here.
I think he'll be a 20-goal scorer. Maybe he gets
25. Oh, yeah. 20 goal. He should be there for sure about that. It's just like the point where he's at the right chair because the team is not great. Talking about Johnny, about Mike Hoffman, honestly, he will stay with the Montreal until he produces goal on power play because they don't have anybody. And the second thing, Michael, Mike Hoffman at 4.5, if he produces 25 goals, 30 goals per year, again, for the next 2 years, they will keep him because he's a contract of 3 years. So I don't see Hoffman go nowhere until that team does not don't do anything. I'm talking about Montreal Canadiens right now about that. Joseph Lenham from Houston, Michael. By the way, guys, if you look on the chat, some people have a little icon beside their names because they are a member of the YouTube channel. So if you want to join the YouTube channel as a member, you click on the join inside the YouTube channel and you can join. It costs only like $2.99 per month. You get some content, special treat, everything like that from the Hockey Nation Live show. So that's about it.
So, all right. So if we keep looking, a lot of the opportunity in Ottawa is coming through the draft. They made one signing last year, which I don't know how he got out of it, but he signed Dadonov, which did not work out. I think Dadonov showed what he is outside. And that was one of the reasons you realized they wanted to move on from Dadonov and Hoffman. So I think what you see coming up, though, is you've got Tkachuk's already ready for his next contract. Bernard Docker's ready to make a daily contribution. Pinto's in there. We don't talk about Lassie Thompson. He already played in the AHL. So he looks like he's very close. And we always forget about him because you've got this other guy, Jake Sanderson. You got Bernard Docker. You got Brandstrom. And you got Shabbat. And that's kind of the top four. But they might have another guy, which is Lassie Thompson. Like he's a really good – he might be a good 5'6". And then you've got these other guys. Tim Stützle looks like a star. Ridley Gregg looks like a good NHL prospect, and we talked about Sokolev. So
I think you forgot the biggest name for me. It's Jake Sanderson. I think
said that.
Jake Sanderson is going to be the Erik Karlsson of that team. He's going to be how Thomas Chabot is, Michael. Sanderson is going to be the type of player like him on the offensive side.
He is going to be very difficult to defend or to play against, like defensively. Like he's wide, he's thick, and I think he does have better offense than he's very patient with the puck. So like I said, Chabot, Sanderson, Bernard Docker, and Brandstrom, that's your top four. And then you add Lassie Thompson in, like maybe that's number 5-6. Like they're in really good shape defensively.
And maybe the best skater is Sanderson.
Maybe. You know what? Well, I mean, Brandstrom can definitely skate, but he is an amazing. He's so smooth, Pierre. You're absolutely right. Like he's an excellent skater.
Oh, yeah.
Now they have this other player they picked this year. There was a little bit of controversy, but I think I know where they're going here. They picked Tyler Boucher. Tyler Boucher is a bull in a china shop. He is like a Tom Wilson type player. So I think that's when you look at him, you go, we want this guy to be big, mean, to make room for everybody else because they don't need much else right now. So I think that's the logic. And I think this was a draft where
He's going to hurt them, Michael.
I don't know, like
too many good players behind him. Tyler Boucher, Michael, on everybody. Nobody put him on the top 20 on everyone. Nobody put him low like this.
Here's the only reason I say maybe not. Now, if they grabbed a Sebastian Cossa or Wallstead, I get that. I like Chaz Lucius, but Chaz Lucius is very similar to like a Josh Norris. So I don't know where Chaz Lucius would fit in their top 6, and that's where he needs to play.
The player they had to select there, Michael, it was easy. It was Cole Sillinger.
Again, Cole Sillinger is going to have a real hard time in getting in that top 6, I bet.
Over what?
I think he has a hard – if you look at who's in Ottawa's top 6 over the next 2 years.
No, but he can be top 9 over there for sure. He's going to be – if you look about all the player they have, Coronato right there, Cossa right there, Bolduc right there, Lucic over there, Chimkov is another one, Wallstead over there, Liesel is right there. That's all kind of player you can pick before Boucher.
Yeah, no, and there's no doubt. It was definitely a controversial move. I get why they did it. It's because of Stützle, Tkachuk, Norris. But, you're probably right. Like, Cole Sillinger might have been a much better pick. Shane Pinto might be ready, but...
And the second thing, Michael, that's give them a better asset to trade if they want to trade something for better name or whatever they are.
Right, and that's the thing. Get the best player available.
Yeah.
I do think Boucher, it'll be interesting to watch. I don't think he's bad. I think he's an unusual player today because you don't get a player that has Tom Wilson type capability without maybe the stupidity.
But if you want this, you maybe look for Leroux.
Yeah, but he's much bigger than Leroux.
But again, it's because the pick at number 10 is a problem of.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's
if
why I said it's controversial.
Boucher, Michael, at 20, that's another conversation we have together.
For sure. For sure.
By the way, Stillman signed a contract, and Bolduc last night, they signed a contract also.
Oh, I saw that. Was St. Louis or no?
St. Louis, yeah. By the way, the Toast T have a question for you.
Yeah, he was asking about the vaccine. I have no idea.
Jimmy is they may take both vaccine shot. Honestly, we don't know.
He's not playing in the NHL, Pierre.
Yeah.
Or the AHL. He's not playing anywhere.
He was not playing at all.
No.
I think his last thing was a Rockford.
It was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah. His last time we see a record. I did not look on the elite prospect. That's maybe one.
So he played 28-19 with Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played since.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 35 points, something like that.
Yep. And 30 points in 72 games. So he played in the AHL last year. So overall, they were kind of handed a weird situation. I still worry about Pierre Dorion and trades. I don't think this is a finished product on the lineup, but you've got to.
We lost Michael. Michael is hiding somewhere right now. Every time we click on graphic, we change the website, it disappears.
Sorry. You got to like what's going on with these young players. The real test will be, and I think they got a good young coach. Like, I think DJ Smith has done a pretty good job.
DJ Smith is one of the best young coach in NHL, like Connaughton, Kiev, everything like that. I think one thing he didn't mention for me is another red flag is he did not do well last season with UFA. He bring that enough, did not work.
I said exactly
Matt Murray, does not work.
I don't know why you said I didn't say it, because I said that. That's the first thing I said.
What?
Like, Dadonov was a mistake. That's why I was saying I worry about this guy in trades and free agent signing.
No, I'm talking about, for me, it was more Matt Murray. So Dadonov was at the beginning of the show, but Matt Murray were a 4-year contract at $6 million with a 3.37, point save 893, I believe, or 901, whatever it was.
Pierre, it's crazy.
It's not good enough.
It's not.
At $6 million. So because I know he's on my bounce back players, and I think he needs to step up to represent. Because if they have that golden door, Michael, like he go like 2.50, everything like that. Now, On the flip side, their defensive was not great. They bring veteran this year. They bring Olden as a defenseman, and I think it was like DeCole or something like that. You have another defenseman they bring as
Yeah,
a
that's how
veteran.
it was Michael Delzato.
Delzato, yeah. So they bring that kind of player there. I think there's bottom six, maybe there are one or two player close what they should get, right? But again, overall, and I think we don't mention this morning anytime, maybe you did. I think Connor Brown is a one really step up last season, Michael, last year.
Sure. He played great. That's a good point. But then let's look at Derek Stepan, like another bad move, Pierre.
Yeah.
Like
no, the flip side, he got hurt. He broke his arm, but still, at 20 games, he have only 6 points. And I don't know what he will do if he will stay healthy with the team. Now he's moved with the Carolina Hurricane. But as a veteran at the bottom, you know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm interested to see the also we don't talk about Zab. I think it was a great pick for them to pick up Zab. I think it was great. I'm not sure the trade they make for Nikita Zezev was a great for him. And then also, I'm not sure, Michael, about I just got see his name earlier.
But yeah, this is the one move that worked out. Like it seems like he should. And Zaitsev played pretty well for them. Like not too bad, but he's not like I don't think he's there long term.
Who?
Zaitsev.
No, I don't think so. I think another player. I can compare him like Alex Stock, and he's not him yet. I think I love Nick Paul, Michael. Every time I see Ottawa, the name of Nick Paul was always around the puck. His name was always mentioned by the play-by-play guy. Nick Paul guy have a great year. I know that the stat don't reflect, but what he bring, Michael, is a little bit what Coleman and Goodrow bring for the Tampa Bay. That prototype of players, third line, physical, check hard, everything like that. You know what I mean? That's about him. So he's still 26, Michael. He's a 6'3". You if you are an Ottawa fans, you love that kind of player. That's what a player like Vegas, they love Alex Stock because what he bring on the flip side, like not many want to do it. That's what he is, Nick Paul for Ottawa, Michael. And they need that kind of players mixed with the kind of talent they have, skill at the top six.
And Batherson's very similar with better offense. Like this is another good young player that's big. He's this Drake Batherson feels like a young Alex Killorn.
But again, Patterson, Michael, it was a surprise. Nobody was expecting him to score 17 goals in 56 games as a first year, as a rookie in NHL.
It's not really a first year though, Pierre. He had 43 NHL games, and he's played very well in the AHL.
Oh, yeah, but a good year. But my point is, like, you know, the year before that, it was not like a regular top six player for Ottawa. That's my point where he was shocked because he have an opportunity this year to step up as the top six over there. So that's what I'm talking about this. And scoring 17 goals. Can he take advantage of what he played with? That's possible with Norris and Tkachuk. But still, you have to put the puck in the net, and you have that kind of skill he can. So for me, I no problem, or I don't see why he cannot score 20, 25 goals next season.
I think he's very capable. That's what again, what I was saying was he reminds me of when Alex Killorn first came in. Feels very similar style and size. So it's up to him. You know, he's young, obviously. He's only 23, 24. When he played for Canada at the World Juniors, he scored 7 goals in the 7 games.
Yeah, I saw that also. I was just pick my eyes over there.
That's kind of crazy, right? Who was on that team? Oh,
so he gave a chance to what he showed he can score. So he have an ability to finish the shot over there, everything like that. So it would be interesting. That's another young man. He's only 23, Michael. So it's still young about that one over there for sure. As a team, I believe they have a good potential to be great in 2 years. That's the next move, what they have to do. I think they have to attach a couple of veterans with that team, Michael, and the UFA, everything like that, to patch up what they don't have at the bottom. I think a third defenseman or fourth defenseman, a little bit older, that we're helping them to set up with what they have, like the younger, like Bandstrom and Jake Sanderson is coming, and Docker over there. I think veterans that will be helping them at the third, fourth defenseman.
It's going to be tricky because this goes back to where I think Pierre Dorion is weak, which is I don't think he's good at signing players, and I don't think he's good at, like, the trades for assets have worked out because then he can use the assets he's done a really good job of drafting, but it's not,
On the flip side, I don't want to defend him too much, but I would say to you, Michael, any GM in Ottawa, you cannot sell the beauty of the city, the beach, the golf, and you have nothing there. Or the effect is the governmental, like the prime minister.
God. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to go to Ottawa. It's like you're able to go to Columbus.
It's not. It's absolutely not. So I don't know.
To bring that kind of player over there, you have to have a great sell over there. So that did not go over there. I think he did not. He said, yes, you can send me anywhere else.
Probably hated it.
Right?
Can you imagine going from Florida, like Miami, to that?
Yeah. So for me, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's maybe the problem he got in Ottawa. And I don't want to put, because he makes some mistake also, right? But I think at the flip side, we have to give him credit. They select great draft. They have a great draft overall about that. Is like you said, like how they can attach those kind. Now, he was not lucky, but they find a way to pick a Zab. Can they find a bottom six, Michael, somewhere to attach this part? Can they find another defenseman like Zab? I think Zezev is not an answer for him. And I think that would be a good thing about this. Colin White did not play.
Okay.
But he did not play the level. He played well the 2-3 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Overall, right? But again, that's someone who can pick it up at the bottom over there. But look, it's a team on the right side, a little bit like the Devils, a little bit like Anaheim, a little bit like the Rangers. They play better what they look like. Obviously, last season, Michael, they shocked a couple of teams. Montreal, Toronto struggled against them. Overall, the record. And I think they have a lot of horse over there around them to make them better and better. It'll be fun to watch, like the Rangers. I think it'll be fun to watch as the offensive side. They can score, they can fight, they can play physical. And I think it's fun to watch when they play, because at the end of the day, they play with no pressure.
No pressure.
Right? And Julie and DJ Smith said how many times, hey, we lost an overtime or we lost an shutout. They never been there before. So for us, it's a learning process. So he's understand. And I think that's something we have to give credit more is the coach over there, DJ Smith, Michael. He's better what the people think as a coach. And he's good with the young kids. So that's another great advantage for Ottawa. And we'll see what they're going to do for the next 3 years. But they have to be patient. If you're a fans, Ottawa fans, patient, like the Detroit, like the New Jersey Devils, and see what happened the next couple of years about that one over there.
This kind of re-emphasizes it. So Philip Gustafson looks like a very good goalie prospect. Like, he had a good start in the NHL. He played well in the AHL. But look at the trade that brought him here. Traded from Pittsburgh. So they traded to Pittsburgh Ian Cole, a first-round pick that ended up being Keandre Miller. So Pittsburgh moves that pick to the Rangers for Vince Dunn.
Yep.
So, I don't know, like, you could have just, it's so weird. I don't know. His moves are a little questionable. So I don't know. What would you give him, like, a rating?
For Pierre Dorion?
Yeah.
I have to go with C.
That's
maybe a C+.
I was thinking C or C+.
Yep, I think that will be at that moment. B will be too hard, too good right now because the team is not there yet, right? You have to see what's going to happen in the next 2 years. But a C, I think you're pretty good overall. Like anybody else, Michael, they make mistake with draft, with trade for sure.
Yeah.
But I think what they make him better or look better is all the great pick. They select the players. But it's easier, Michael, when you pick the top 5 all the time. But at the flip side, they have a couple of good second overall pick like Pinto, Zirkolov, and Tucker. I think Tucker was late.
He was, yeah.
Late.
Was he a fifth round or was he?
Oh, he was like 18 maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Parker Tucker, right?
Yeah, 26. It's not easy, Michael, when you pick 25 and 20 and up to get great hockey player, and also to pick a kids on the AJHL.
Yeah.
You have to know the scout have to know exactly what he's talking about as the top line top first round. Like I'm shocking to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you click on it? Did he go somewhere after that? Did he go to NCAA?
Who?
Tucker? Jacob Bernard Tucker?
Oh, Docker. Yeah, he was in North Dakota because he played in North Dakota with Sanderson.
That's another one he went to AJ and not to play in.
But look at these two guys. That's the pairing. They're already playing together with Shane Pinto.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was pretty good about that one there. Like Kawaguchi never been.
Kawaguchi, yeah.
Yep. Adam Brasness is in the house this morning. Welcome aboard. Loud Bunny won the Frenchy quiz last night, Michael.
Oh, good. There's your defenseman in Florida, Kierstad.
Yep.
But yeah, these guys are going to be. I think they're going to play together a long time.
Kierstad was not draft, Michael.
Who wasn't?
Kierstad.
Oh, no, he was a free agent signing.
Yeah. Is it Cole Caulfield brother, Judd?
Yeah.
And he got transferred to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think so because he's not Cole Caulfield, but I think he has two brothers though, doesn't he?
I thought it was only one, no?
No, this is not the same brother.
No, I don't think so. He's his brother.
It's not. There's another brother.
Because he's 6'3", Michael.
Yeah, there's no way, man. He's the opposite. Imagine these guys are brothers.
That may be his cousin.
You got all the talent, I got all the height.
He's 6'3", this guy. So I'm sure he's not like part of the same family. And I think Caulfield, he spelled it with an L, Michael. It's not the same nickname at the last name. So anybody have anything to add? We welcome. Thanks again for joining us this morning. Thanks for, please don't forget to click on the likes. I think we didn't mention earlier. That'd be awesome. And look, we'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, guys, stay with us, hanging with us. It's a little bit the off season. Tonight, Michael, I have a guest from the Panthers coming as a YouTube creator. He's going to be in the show at 9 o'clock. But again, we are there. And Michael, I believe tomorrow, and I have to check again, but I think it's our first anniversary Hockey Nation Live Show, early edition morning. It's going to be turned 1 year tomorrow morning, Michael.
Oh my God,
August
really?
25th. If you have it, can you check, Michael, on the website? Can you click on go back on the website and click the oldest video. Joseph, don't go nowhere. Check this part over there. Go on the Hockey Nation at the bottom, like the middle. You mute. Click on the sort by in the top, Michael. Sort by. Yep. I don't know why you mute. August 25th, 2020.
It's our anniversary, Pierre.
I know. That's tomorrow. 12 view, Michael. And then 1 year later, we have 1.49 subscriber. And we did over almost 1,000 video, Michael. That's pretty amazing when you see that. If you click on the second video, that's what you really see the morning show. It was the second one beside that one, beside Kapanen. If you can go back over there. Here we go. No, this is a 325. This was really the first show at the right. Not Kapanen, the next one. I really believe this is really the first one. Like the full 46 minutes.
That's crazy. We'll have to look.
You can see in 1 year how we change everything.
We're using clips and we're probably getting demonetized, which is fine. But
yeah. But again, I think it was like that's what we start the show, honestly, about that one over there, guys. So just give you an idea how we became from. You have to start from everywhere, right? You have to start from nowhere with nothing.
Now we need to get it to another level somehow.
Because somewhere, Michael, that time the was not barely the strain you are was like terrible, right?
Wonder what I weighed there.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, it was just to show you guys where we came and what we become, and we're still at the beginning. Also, like a rookie, Michael, it would take us 2 more years before we reach this level. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, Pierre, tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you so much to join us. Don't forget tonight the show 9 o'clock Eastern time for the Power Play show with Coach Frenchy. I look forward to see you tomorrow morning with Michael at 11 o'clock Eastern time for what? Yeah. We can do this tomorrow, Michael, about that
Bon anniversaire, adieu.
Happy birthday. So we have to chant that one for anniversary. I cannot stop it anymore. He's stuck right now. Year number 1, Michael, already 900 over video we got right now. I'm going to give out all the numeric number. I'll try to make a little video about that one tomorrow. So have an amazing, great day, everybody. Michael, look forward to you tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Thanks, Pierre.